Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Now, I'm covering the Adobe Summit here in Vegas, which might sound incredibly glamorous, but let me tell you, it is a podcaster's worst nightmare. There is no escape from the sound of air conditioning, and there seems to be speakers everywhere sending dirty beats or soft ambient sounds wherever you walk. But hey, I love a good challenge. And I've turned the air conditioner off and retired back to my room to record this intro and outro. Because I really want to get the message across that the big theme of this year's summit is that people are no longer buying products, they're buying experiences. So I wanted to try and put some meat on the bone, so to speak, and have a conversation with some experience makers so we can show how a business creates those experiences. Meredith Cooper is part of the Creative Cloud Enterprise team over at Adobe, and they're doing some really interesting things with Equinox at the moment, which many of you listening may know is a fitness club, but to be honest, I'm probably selling them a little bit short with that description because it's much more than that. Now, after chatting to them both at the summit here in Vegas, we quickly got talking about how good design is not only just a piece of marketing collateral, but it actually has the power to influence customer behaviour and decisions. So I asked them to record a few minutes with me just to share their insights as experience makers and also offer an overview of the value that the Creative Cloud Enterprise can bring for design teams. As a result of this tech, Equinox has enjoyed some incredibly successful campaigns. And as a provocative brand, they see design as being a key part of the experience itself online. And they find that if they're able to influence perceptions through creativity, then they have the ability to create members for life. But enough of my scene setting, buckle up and hold on tight because I want to beam your ears all the way to the Adobe Summit here in Vegas so you can eavesdrop on my conversation with Cecilia, who is the Director of Digital Design at Equinox, and also Meredith from the Adobe Creative Cloud Enterprise. So I'm joined by Cecilia from Equinox and Meredith from Adobe at the Venetian Hotel in Vegas this year. Meredith, would you mind kicking things off and telling the listeners a little about your role at Adobe and also offer an overview of the value that the Creative Cloud Enterprise can actually bring for design teams?
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me and welcome to Summit. So I run product marketing for Adobe's Creative Cloud Enterprise business. And Creative Cloud, just at the highest level, is our modern platform for creativity. So it includes the world's best desktop apps, integrated mobile apps, services, community, and enterprise license management features for designers and developers. And to answer the question about the value that it brings. So we hear from designers lots of different trends and themes and challenges that they're trying to overcome. But the big three challenges that we hear them talk about have to do with creativity, experience, and scale. So it used to be back in the day that things were about how something looked. And as the world has evolved, it's much more so today about how something actually works together and designing engaging experiences and doing so by having designers collaborate with designers, having designers collaborate with developers or engineers or other product designers. And most importantly, it's figuring out how to keep up with the rapid fire pace that we're all dealing with and do all of that at scale. And so Creative Cloud's enterprise offering, or Creative Cloud as a whole, addresses those three things: creativity, experience, and scale by, number one, delivering the world's best apps, whether it's things like Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, whether it's Premiere Pro and After Effects for video designers, XD for 3D, any of our photography apps. So we offer the apps at scale. We also have entered into the world of experience design and have spent a lot of time and investment in Adobe XD for designing and prototyping mobile apps and websites and allowing our customers to deliver these engaging experiences. And then lastly, we have a whole set of services: Typekit, Adobe Stock, Creative Cloud Assets, Creative Cloud Libraries, et cetera, that allow our customers or allow designers to build design systems and figure out how to do this at scale.
So, when did you first notice this shift, would you say, from how things, or people were only concerned about what something looked like to what it is now? Yeah, is that last 2 years, would you say? Or
it certainly has been an evolution over the last couple of years, I would say. Yep.
Cool. Cecilia, how did the Adobe Think Tank Forum go? And can you help the listeners visualise exactly what it is and how you got involved in the forum?
Mm-hmm, sure. So I think my head is still spinning from all the big ideas and themes that we discussed yesterday. A lot of big ideas around emerging technology, personalization, and then I was brought in specifically for the track on design-led thinking. Mm-hmm. It was we just brainstormed a lot of different ideas around each one of those buckets, and then we kind of had to reflect on which ones. So, for example, for emerging technology, we talked about mixed reality, Internet of Things, AI, and then for design-led thinking, the impact on businesses and content development. Basically reflecting on what is going to be most important to businesses in the future in terms of creating experiences for their customers. Yeah. And then that ultimately was a live stream panel where we got to debate all of it for everybody.
Cool. So how did you get involved with that?
So I have been partnered, my team's been partnered with Adobe, specifically on XD. We were brought into the pilot program to adopt it early, and we just haven't looked back. We love using it. And Koi Vin, who is the principal designer on XD, asked me to participate in it.
Excellent. Now, there were a few revolutionary ideas that were shared and valuable tips that people could put directly into action as soon as it finished. But were there any highlights for you, Cecilia, from that?
Yeah. One thing that we talked about specifically with design is the role of design and what is design to a company these days with emerging technology. Voice is a great example, and I think words and writing, the role of a copywriter was never traditionally, while it might be in a creative team, isn't thought of as design. And that's changing drastically with conversational interfaces. Like, that is crucial to designing experience, is how you talk someone through it. So I think that's going to be a big shift in the future, or now actually, is investing in people who write really well, but writing for experience and for user journeys specifically.
Yeah, that's something that I noticed today during the keynote there. I think it was the guy from Coca-Cola who was saying that voice actually strips back all the branding and all the wrapping.
And all you're left with is words.
Yeah.
And that's how your brand is brought to life.
So, Meredith, I know you have some great ideas too about how good design is not only a piece of marketing collateral, but also how it has the power to influence customer behaviour and their decisions. Can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, I mean, I come with a couple of stats. So 2/3 or 71% of customers say that they will choose a product or a service over the competition because of design, because of how the experience actually is. And again, 2/3, 69% of customers say that they will be more loyal to a brand because of good design. So I think what you're seeing is the better the experience, and again, back to what we talked about, the better thought out how something entirely works, the more customers are going to engage, the more sticky they're going to be, the more loyal they will be to a brand.
So, back to you, Cecilia. I mean, Equinox isn't a gym, it's a club that aims to deliver an unrivaled experience from training to regeneration. And Equinox is also a huge fitness brand over here in the US, but also indeed all over the world. So can you offer an overview of what services you provide to your customers and what makes you unique from other things out there?
Well, I think our core product is our fitness clubs, which really, I think, are in a category of one with the luxury experience that they provide. But we also have a science-based personal training program, studio Pilates. We have a spa in all of our locations, as well as a retail store and cafes.
Would you say design plays a big part in your world as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a humongous architecture and interior design team, and I think that's where it does really start for us, is the design of our physical spaces, because that's really where the luxury comes into play, and just the attention to detail is really, it just shows how much we admire our members and we respect them, and that's why they come back.
Excellent. And Meredith, can you expand on why you think that digital design plays such a critical role in that customer experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are the business benefits we talked about. There's the brand loyalty. There's tons of data that shows that, companies that are design-led outperform their competitors and do better. But, it comes back to some practical examples, and maybe people talk about these all the time, so forgive me for using them. But think about Uber, right? Yeah. Uber was able to completely transform an entire industry, not fully displace an entire industry, but completely change the dynamics and change the game. And they did that based on good design, right? They thought the experience through end to end. They built an app that made it seamless for a user from the click of a button to find a car, to get picked up, to get dropped off, to pay, and to do that entirely seamlessly. And had they not been design forward, design thinking, whatever term you want to use, that they wouldn't have been able to do that. And even, the other example that sometimes comes to mind is Starbucks, right? Starbucks is way beyond just tons of physical retail locations, and they have expanded so much further, but they've built this great mobile experience, right? Where you can drop your kids off on the way to, you drop them off at school, on your way to work, you place your order on your app, you go into the store, and there's your coffee waiting for you. That whole experience that they've created continues to drive brand loyalty, but they're doing something like a quarter of their business off of that experience, and they would never be able to see the revenue and the profitability and the business benefits had they not designed a great experience.
Absolutely. Now finally, I want to throw this one out to both of you. If we have a potential customer listening or a business leader that would like to contact either of you for a few tips or just a bit of advice, can you advise of your website details and the best way for anyone to contact your team if they've got any questions about our conversation today?
I would say for me specifically, just to find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's probably the best way to reach me.
Cool.
I would say the same thing, LinkedIn as well, Meredith Cooper, and obviously Adobe.com is a great vehicle, and there are all sorts of forms one can fill out, but LinkedIn is the best path forward. People are welcome to email me, cooperm@adobe.com.
Fantastic.
Yep. Also, if anyone's interested in learning more about Equinox, then equinox.com.
Excellent. Finally, before I let you go, I know it's incredibly busy out there. Is there anything else of the Adobe show that you're looking forward to?
For me, one of the things I'm most excited about is the synergies between creatives and marketers, and therefore the synergies between Creative Cloud and Experience Cloud. So one of the innovations that we announced this morning up on main stage, actually, although I don't think it was called by name, but is Adobe Asset Link and the new panel that's in Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign that connects with AEM assets. So what I'm looking to, that's just one small example, but is continuing to build on that and streamline the workflow between creatives and marketers to make sure that together they're able to collaborate to build great experiences.
Cool. How about you, Cecilia? I know you've probably got a lot of people after your time at the moment and a lot of different interviews. Will you find time to find anything that you're really excited to go and see?
Well, I just came out of a really cool session with Brian Collins from the Collins Group. Very, very cool session talking about future-proofing and really how it's not about, the concept of future-proofing is fear-based, but if you think about it as future, can't remember the exact way he phrased it, but future generating or crafting, it's about choosing which future you want. So that was extremely inspiring. And then I'm here actually with a couple members from our marketing team, so I think even from the keynote today, just showing the seamless workflow from a creative team to a marketing team is super exciting, and I think we're all excited to learn more about that and how Adobe can help through some of our pain points.
Excellent. Well, a huge thank you for both of you for taking time to come and speak with me today. I appreciate you're incredibly busy, so enjoy the rest of your summit.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I think people buy experiences, not products, is a great soundbite, but it can run the risk of getting lost in translation. But it's so true that even the most important aspect of any purchase or service is how it improves our experience. And this is why Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, Airbnb, etc. are so popular now. I mean, the fact that Delta Airlines will send you a push notification directly to your smartphone to notify you that your case has been successfully loaded onto your plane, that is an experience that keeps you coming back for more. And another great example is booking a hotel room online, only to have to join a long check-in line and repeat all the exact same information again. I mean, why would you do that? So alternatively, Marriott Hotels is allowing their customers to book online, create a room key and attach it to their smartphone. That way they can just skip those check-in lines completely and head straight to their room. Again, this is an experience that also sets a whole new level of expectation. So if your business fails to meet these expectations in the next few years, by offering experiences to or improving experiences, we know what's going to happen, right? But this isn't scaremongering, and this isn't anything out of the ordinary. We've seen it already with Blockbuster, Kodak, Polaroid and Pan Am over the years. But hey, these are just my thoughts, my observations. What are yours? That is the most important part of this show. Do you have any similar experiences that you can share, both good and bad? As always, email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, or drop by my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, and leave me a voicemail. Right, I'm off to grab another suspect off the show floor now and then record another episode. So a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.